Hey, this will be a video chart on WNBD. Done this one quite a few times, and I had someone point it out to me today, and it actually looks pretty interesting. Um, yes, it was a red day, but that's not really what caught my eye. Couple things. First was the volume, and like I said, yes, I know it was a red volume day, but significantly bigger volume than what it's had essentially the whole month of April so far. And the second thing was very nice bounce off of its 50-day simple moving average, which is its purple line right there. So with these two things, it's looking like I don't know if there's some sort of attempted shakeout today, and then the bulls fought back pretty nicely or what. But when you see this sort of volume and then kind of a crazy candle like this, that does go down, tests the support, and then bounces back up. And then you combine that. So I guess there's the third thing with the fact that we're in a nice little coiled formation. So let me draw that out. But we essentially have, this uptrend line right here, which is our support trend line. And besides bouncing off the 50-day, you can see that, the pullback. So we had a bounce here, bounce in this area, and then today it bounced off this trend line also. But then to finish off this pattern, we have this resistance line coming across the top here. I'll have to adjust that line. But if you look back and see how much through a history of this line is resistance, so we had act as resistance there, essentially got close enough there, and then just a bunch of days in this during this past month. So what we have here is an ascending triangle, and all that means is that as time has increased, higher lows have been made while the same resistance holds true. So we're not making higher highs, but we are making higher lows, and you can see it's kind of, like I said, getting coiled up and tighter and tighter. And after a day like this, I don't know if this is going to be kind of what I'm trying to do is get on a jump start to maybe a potential breakout. Will it break out? I don't know. But like I said, if this was some sort of attempted shakeout or something like that, where the bulls fought back, and then you combine that with the pattern we're in, maybe something's shaping up here, especially when you consider the nice tight pattern that it's in right now. So let's say we do get a breakout. As always, with any sort of breakout, the higher the volume, the better. What I like is the potential here, if there is some sort of move by the bulls, because if we do get through here, then literally looking at the chart, the next area of resistance isn't till up here at the 0.014, and you may say, oh, well, that's not too much. Well, remember, we're talking about a stock that's less than 2 cents, so the percentages add up very quickly. And then looking just at the chart, you can see that this is quite a big gap in resistance levels. So whether you're a longer-term player or more of just a day trader, there's some nice potential for percentages just within this range. And then, obviously if it gets above there, you got resistance levels that even go higher up with more nice gaps between them. But, one step at a time. Let's first see if we can even break out. But like I said, the whole point was interesting volume today, very interesting candle, but it was good to see that it bounced off both this trend line and the 50-day simple moving average. And with a breakout of this ascending triangle pattern, things could get interesting. But once more, keep your eye on volume. If it breaks out and then volume's only something like one of these days, well, you can't have too much confidence. But if it breaks out and you see volume, like one of these days over here, then I really like the chances that this thing could really make an explosive move. So, keep it on your radars, and let's see if this thing can get broken out. But if it does, I think it'll be. I think you will be happy that you had it on your radar. So, if there are any other questions on the chart, please let me know. If not, I'd encourage you to check out bullwarriorstocks.com. If you go there and sign up for the free newsletter, you'll be sent a free ebook, and with your newsletter subscription, you'll get chart setups, trade ideas, educational pieces, all sorts of things from penny stocks up to big boards. So there's a good variety, something for everybody, and it's all free. We've been making some good money together. So I'd encourage you to go to the website, sign up for it, and see what it's all about. One last time, this was WNBD. Thanks for listening.